The world is full of wonders.
Magic is hidden in small moments.
And monsters could be hiding just out of sight.
But if you're looking to find them,
adventure is waiting to happen.
You never know who you'll meet along the way.
We are the Storyteller Squad. Hello, adventurers. Welcome back to the Storyteller Squad. Thanks for joining us for more Monster of the Week here in Autumn Falls. But before we begin, let's introduce those heroes. Hugo?
All right, well, I would like to formally thank everyone for coming to the 2020 Autumn Falls Convention. I assume you're all here for your con exclusives, yes? Well, first off, we have this wonderful, wonderful piece. You can see by the vest on it, very, very proper. It is part of the Whittaker collection. If you're not so inclined for the Whittaker collection, you can always go, personally, it's one of my favorites, the Edge Crest collection. As you can see, we have various models. This version here is kind of gloopy. This one here has a really big afro. Getting the hair details was very difficult. If you look at our Felicity model, for example, it took us at least 20 hours of development to get the fluff just right. Now, for the other people in our line who are looking for the perfectionist things, if you look at our Bethany model, you can see the very fine detail on this pin right here. You can be part of the sorority. You get that real feeling of being there. If you are looking for our more digital offerings, specifically the Raven package has quite the number of forum avatars that come with it. Fantastic, fantastic. Although, I do believe we may have outdone ourselves with the stunning 12-inch model, Battle Ready Aidan. Look at the wing details on this, just glowing. Just look at this.
Sir, question please.
Yes.
Does it glow in the dark? We've heard rumors. Will it glow in the dark?
Oh, it does not only just glow in the dark, but if you put it on this base right here and push this button, they light up and the eyes light up, and you can even see the hand.
LEDs built into the statue itself.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Whoa.
Also, on your way out, don't forget to grab your Hugo gift card. It's worthless, but it'll get you somewhere.
It puts you in moderate to low standing with the nearest cult.
Thank you for that. Let's have an adventure. Last time, our heroes did a training day. You determined that if you're going to keep fighting trolls and kitsune and hell beasts, that probably it would be good to practice once in a while on the off days. And so a group of you went off to one of the local trails in order to do some spell slinging, to reach into the ether of magic and see what came up. And what came up was some very strange powers from Felicity and a new friend for Raven, as she summoned a small nature spirit who they named Windy, who appears to be some sort of jackalope creature. On the other side of things, Agent Whittaker and Hugo had not quite a meet cute, a meet and glare. They ran into each other at the museum, and Whittaker, using his very special secret agent skills, followed Hugo down to the Whispereds library that they have in the secret basement of the Autumn Falls Natural History Museum. They were discovered down there by one of Hugo's co-workers and another Whispered member, Rhea Singh. But thankfully, Hugo made some other decisions, knocking Rhea out and then going to let Professor Argyle know immediately what had just happened, because honesty is the best policy. Argyle said that this was a problem and that a tribunal was likely to be held to determine the Whispered's next course of action, given that now someone from outside the organization knows of where they do their research and has more concrete proof that they do in fact exist. Meanwhile, Bethany went off and did a training day of her own, not wanting to feel codependent on the magic users, and also not really relying on a job position from Agent Whittaker, but in any case deciding that bettering herself for herself was good enough reason to go running and take some kickboxing classes. So that's pretty much where we left off. Let's do some quick start of mystery questions.
I
Okay.
got a 6.
I think it's no vision at all.
Oh, really? I seem to remember you getting a 6 last time, and you got some sort of very hazy sort of thing. Premonitions? On a miss, you get a vision of something bad happening to you, and the keeper holds 3. Ooh, I should have remembered that part.
That's right.
That would have made magic lessons very interesting.
That was, I think I got like a 9 on that one. I got clouded images.
Hold 3.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, last time this happened, it was when I got cornered.
Felicity, your vision is of you're running down a dark stone hallway. It seems to be underground. You hear dripping of groundwater seeping through the stone and hitting the cobbled floor of this place. You're running. You get to a door, which just explodes in front of you. You're not sure how. When you enter this room, you see a lot of machines sparking and energy being transferred through conduits. Occasionally there's flashes. And you see Aidan is strapped up in some sort of device, screaming. And you also feel this pounding headache as you see her being affected by this machinery. And that's your vision.
Boy, I hate that one. That sucks. Wow.
I suppose you have that the night after training. The night of training, as you settle down for bed, you have this spooky vision. Ghosty and Tom see that you're bothered by it. They come over and pat your nose and kind of give you a hug, trying to comfort you. Raven, what are your start of mystery rolls like?
So I rolled a 9, so I get to hold 1 for connect the dots, and I will hang on to my question until it makes sense to ask it.
So let's pick up with Whittaker. Your conversation with Hugo and Professor Argyle ended on a bit of a solemn note. You gather that he was upset, but more that he was put in a tough position. And he kind of let that "there will be a tribunal" statement hang in the air.
Was there any indication of whether Whittaker would be involved in this tribunal or what that would entail? Or do you leave him a number to call, or was it
Nope.
You'll call me?
Yeah.
Because secret society every time.
Secret society
Every
stuff.
time. We'll contact you. Good Lord. Did Hugo leave too, or is it just me out here?
There wasn't a lot more to be said between Hugo and Argyle. It was sort of a you're in trouble again, and this time it's even worse than last time. And it was your day off, so there's no reason for you to stay at the museum after that anyway. The whole encounter souring your intentions of going to maybe hang out with the ladies and Damien up on the trail.
I guess Whittaker just goes back to his trailer and continues on with his life.
He winds up getting back to the trailer, I would say, probably a little after dinner, or maybe right before. It was a pretty stressful encounter. If you want to just say he goes and puts his feet up, that's acceptable.
No, he's got work to do. He's got shit to do. He does send out a text to the group chat, making plans to head to the Eastie Agency to collect on some samples. Would anyone be interested in joining me?
Raven will offer. She'll just message the group and be like, yeah, I'll go.
Nice.
I picture Whittaker saying it out loud as he texts it to the group, and Damien just pops out of his coffee pot or something.
Melts in through the shades of the Winnebago window.
Oh man, yeah, and he'll start compiling a list of places to check out in the Portland area.
I think Felicity wants to go too. Felicity will come.
Aidan replies with just a thumbs up. She'll go if everyone's going.
It's a bit of a caravan now. I love this.
Yeah. Maybe you can get your camper brought down and sort of renovated.
That'd be nice.
Like a deep clean,
Yeah. That'd be fun.
So you don't know where Damien has been, so a deep clean is for the best.
Yeah, no, ever since this unfortunate roommate situation has happened, Whittaker's been vacuuming more and looking for traces of goo everywhere. And you notice he started to do this thing, when people when they walk out of their house and they're making sure they got all their keys and phone and shit. He does that, but specifically Damien, you might notice this. He runs his hand on the underside of one of his shelves all the time. There's a spot underneath a bedside table that he just runs his hand under in the same way that someone checks for something that they want to make sure is there.
So if Damien sees you do this, he's going to start casually doing the same thing.
But not looking, just doing the
Not
hand
looking,
rub.
just the motion.
Yeah.
That's fun. You find a key magnetized to the bottom of the bed, to the underside of the little shelf.
Has Damien seen anything key-related? I think Damien stumbled across the chest under Whittaker's bed that was locked.
Yep.
We'll have to sleep on this and wait till Whittaker is not awake to take action, but duly noted.
Well, you've never seen him open it, so...
That's true. So how interesting could it really be?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Probably pretty boring.
Anyway, that's there. He's texted people. He's researching locations in Portland.
Does he have like a pretty late night doing that, or does he go to bed at his normal time?
No, he's going to do research, because if he has nowhere to go, like, he can't leave until everybody's ready to leave at this point. So it's like, if he's got nowhere to go, he's just going to stay up, typing and tapping until he feels satisfied. I can do an investigate a mystery roll if that feels appropriate.
Sure, yeah. Why don't we do that, and then I want to jump over to Hugo.
Oh, yeah, sure. Or actually, no, you can just jump over to Hugo. I don't want to take it.
Do the roll. I should make you guys roll more. I enjoy hearing everyone role play, so I forget.
Oh, that's a 12, so it would be a 13 in total. I guess the important one would be, where did it go, since I'm looking at locations.
You know of at least 3 warehouse drop points that you may not have investigated them yourself, but you've heard about them from other agents that work more in the Portland area regularly. So you know of at least 3 places that he might go to deliver this contraband to a supernatural dealer of some kind, and we can work out what those are. I mean, there's probably one at the wharf, probably one in a subway station. There's probably also an actual like warehouse outside the city limits. You have some like trails to follow, basically. And you also know that there are a few people in Portland that you could talk to about, I'm looking for this. Have you seen a guy? You have a couple people in the city that you've met and spoke with firsthand a few times, so.
Okay. And I'm also and you don't have to answer this yet, but I'm just gonna send some notes to the agency on the question, what sort of creature is it? Just gonna give them like, this is the description of what I saw. What do you got for me? Pig man. Mm-hmm. Transforming, shifting pig man.
Okay. Hugo, you're in trouble. What's your post-confrontation time look like?
His bike ride home takes twice the normal length. He's somewhat deflated, and he's probably just going to get home and sleep. He doesn't check his phone, so...
Doesn't check his phone, goes home, goes to bed early. So, that evening, Damien, when you get back, do you stick around the Whittaker camper?
Yeah, so Damien would have been on another computer just to mimic Whittaker. But instead of doing actual important research, Damien is just on the blog, The Watcher, checking out posts and stuff, familiarizing himself so that he can be doing computer stuff too. And then when Whittaker's finally ready to turn in for the day, then Damien's going to leave the trailer and just go off into the night.
All right, I'll say this. It's probably like midnight. Whittaker, you're getting tired. You're probably going to call it quits soon. Damien, you're not, obviously, but you're just like waiting for the cue. You hear something drop and hit the floor, like a pen or like a penny or like a coin or something. Just something metal hits metal tiling in the kitchen section of the camper. And I need you both to read a bad situation.
Oh, shit. You're going to have to roll for me.
I can do that.
And this is the one where it's like, what's the easiest way out? Protect the victims and...
Damien, you got a 9 just on the die.
Okay. Read a bad situation is sharp, I think.
That's a -1.
Okay, so you got an 8, which is a mix. Whittaker, you did how well?
A 6 + 1, which is a 7, which is also mixed.
So a mix for both of you then. You both get one question. You can ask, what's your best way in? What's your best way out? Are there dangers we haven't noticed? What's the biggest threat? What's most vulnerable to me? What's the best way to protect the victims? Some of those, like, dangers you haven't noticed yet seem like a pretty obvious choice.
Biggest threat also feels important.
So, Damien, your question, are there any dangers we haven't noticed? Dropping down through the skylight of Whittaker's trailer is a figure who is dressed all in black. They are carrying a pair of tonfas, which they have held in a reverse grip, so the longer portion is right along the forearms, ready to defend. When they land, they don't make any sound. It's just a silent descent and the only noise comes from little screws rolling around that they must have undone on the outside of the skylight in order to make their entrance.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's very scary. Whittaker, biggest threat to you. You look over at this figure and a throwing knife flies through the window, whizzes past your head and like embeds in the wooden cabinet next to your face. And you see another figure force open the door of your camper and step through holding some throwing knives. This looks like a lady, but same attire.
Whittaker sees your throwing knives and raises you one gun.
Okay. Are we gonna roll to kick some ass?
Yeah. Let's do it. It's a 9, an 8 plus 1. That is a mixed success.
You and whatever you're fighting inflict harm on each other. The amount of harm is based on the established dangers in the game. So what's the harm rating on your gun?
It's a 2 harm, close, reload, and it's loud.
Okay.
It's a gun.
Mm-hmm. And you're inside a small space.
Yeah, so he just runs over to his closet and bang, bang, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one are you aiming at, just so I can keep track?
Probably the one that threw a knife at him, because that is someone who clearly has intent to harm.
So you fire at them. It hits them in the shoulder, but you do see the bullet ricochets off something that they're wearing under this blackout suit they've got on. And in response, as she's recoiling, she still lets fly 2 more knives, and they don't strike you to harm you. They your collar, and now you're pinned back against the part of your camper that you're standing in now.
That's fun. That's cool.
I will say one of them grazes your cheek, gives you 1 harm.
So what Damien should do is phase out of the trailer and get on his phone and call up Aidan. But in order to do that, he's going to have to resist grabbing some of Whittaker's knives and throwing them at the knife wielder, which is act under pressure, which is cool, which is no modifiers.
That's a 9. I give you a worse outcome, hard choice, or price to pay.
And the price to pay is sort of leaving Whittaker alone.
Well, hard choice, Damien, is the guy with the tonfas is inching forward the way a fighter does, where his foot is inching forward, his body's kind of staying stationary, but he's setting up to come in and attack. And if you phase out, this guy will totally redirect, and that attack will go towards Whittaker, knocking him out or just hurting him.
Damien, he's a demon. He's going to phase through the wall, let Whittaker take the hit because he needs to make the phone call and get some backup ASAP. He would just have to call Aidan because everyone else is going to take too long.
We'll resolve that in a second. Whittaker, the guy with the tonfas, makes one swing where Damien was going to be, but then quickly readjusts, spins around with a backhand, and clocks you in the jaw. So you see some stars.
So I'm not wearing any special armor, but I do have battlefield awareness, which gives you a +1 armor. Does that count because I'm currently pinned and stationary, so I can't respond to awareness on the battlefield?
You can still adjust your face a little and or throw a hand up, to catch a little bit of it.
Oh, right, my hands are free. Okay.
Your hands are still free. So if you put a hand up, it smacks your hand and then your hand smacks you. So you take the 1 harm. Damien, so you're calling Aidan.
Yes.
She is in her apartment. She's got her headphones on and her little CD player that she listens to sometimes. She's sitting in her window nook. Her phone rings, kind of buzz. She's got it on quiet, but she picks it up. Hello, Damien.
Hi, Aidan. This is Damien. How are you?
I'm fine. It's late. What is it?
We're being attacked by ninjas. Get over here immediately.
What? All right. Where are you guys parked?
We're at the trailer.
I can't turn that on all the time. I'll be there soon. So she hangs up and she opens the window to her apartment and she crouches to leap out the window, but her eyes dart just over to the window of Hugo's apartment where she sees something climbing into Hugo's window. We'll resolve that in a second. Whittaker, you got 2 ninjas on you.
God, I sure do. Fucking demons, am I right? Who the fuck are you and why are you in my trailer? And I still have the gun, right? They didn't disarm me.
Yeah.
Anything. I brandish the gun threateningly.
Okay, but if you want to try and shoot at them again, you can.
I think he's just gonna in his mind it's a gun versus 2 sets of melee weapons. He's got the upper hand. If he threatens hard enough, maybe they'll get the message.
Okay, so you're gonna try and manipulate roll then?
Yes, it's gonna be right, like, get out my flat with the gun as the reason for why. Wow, get to roll plus charm. That's
your favorite skill.
It's an 8, a mixed success.
If you ask too much, they'll tell you what, if anything, it would take for them to do it. Only if you do something to them right now to show you mean it. Well, you definitely mean it. You're brandishing a gun in their face.
I can shoot again to show that I mean it.
The woman who took a hit to her shoulder gives a look to the other guy, and he kneels for a second and boosts her up through the top of the camper. She lands up top. You're not sure what she's doing up there because she's out of your line of sight. But once she's thrown up, he's going to come at you again. And this time he's going to attempt to disarm you. So that is a 9 plus 1 plus tough. So 11 minimum. That being said, he is using the kick some ass move. So if you would like to inflict some harm on him, I will let you.
Let's say that if he disarms him, Whittaker drops the gun. Can he pull one of the knives out and stab him?
Oh, like the one that got thrown into the wall?
Yeah, the ones that are now on either side of his neck.
Sure. You go to stab this guy as he comes in to try and disarm your gun arm. It strikes against plating that's underneath the suit. He's got similar one armor. So his extra effect is force them where you want them. So his tonfa, so it's just another 2 harm unless you're using your battlefield awareness to make it 1.
Yeah.
So you block him, but he shoves it into your chest, kind of knocks the wind out of you a little bit, and he gets you in a wrist lock, which causes you to drop your weapon. It basically seems like he's going to like choke you out, make you pass out essentially. You fought people enough to know he's doing the moves to get himself into that position. And it's probably why the other one tried to restrain you with the knives.
Okay.
Speaking of the other one, Damien, where were you when you phased out? Did you just like sit under the camper?
Yeah, I was going to say I went through the wall, but I like just plopping down straight to the ground. So once he's done making the call, then he's just going to, jump right back up into the camper and do his life drain to whoever's inside fighting Whittaker. So it's going to be kick some ass.
Cool. 2 dice for Damien. That's a 7.
I have a -1 tough, so I'm going to fail that one.
Oh no. On a miss, you get your ass kicked instead. You suffer harm or get captured, but don't inflict any harm back. Perfect. This is kind of what I was aiming for as these antagonist characters. Damien, when you phase back up through the camper, you look around because you only see one in here now, and you're like, did Whittaker explode the other one? What happened to her? And you can look up briefly. It's tough to see because it's light in here and dark outside, but you hear footsteps now on the top of the trailer. If you poke your head up or go to, you get shocked as you reach to go up through that skylight, and you drop back down, and you see her land by the door, and she is scattering a white powder around the camper. It seems like you're getting trapped in here.
Son of a bitch.
You are captured in that she has made a circle around the trailer to keep you inside.
Then Damien's next step, and you'll have to let me know if he'd know if this was kosher or not. If he fills up a cup of water to dump it on the salt, would that do it?
I don't think it would work immediately because it's actively a spell now. It's not just normal table salt once she infuses the magic into it.
Oh, it's not just a salt circle.
Unless you actually perform some magic, the salt circle is just salt. And so her move this time around was to create a barrier. Whittaker, you are about to be put into chokehold. What's your move?
Am I bigger than this man? Whittaker's a good 6'2".
Yes.
And works out.
You are bigger than him. This guy is like 5'8".
Okay.
But clearly, like, tough. He's not scrawny. He's got a very athletic build, and he moves like an experienced fighter.
So I don't actually know a lot of martial arts, but I imagine if someone's going in for a chokehold, you get your hands up here in between, them and your neck. And I don't know, he's going to, like, grab this man and try to, like, throw him to the ground.
I think maybe you're acting under pressure then.
I think it would be an act under pressure as well, which I'm very good at. That's cool, right? That's
it is plus cool, yes.
I'm good at that. It's still a 6. I failed.
Oh
no! Rip.
Sometimes the narrative knows where I want it to go.
Yeah, right.
But you get experience, so
that's always fun.
Always fun. Yeah, you go to put your hands up but he pulls your other arm back. So now he's got you in an arm lock, and he's reaching around with his other arm to press against your windpipe.
Rip.
And you start to, like, your vision has that, like, blackness creeping in on the sides. Damien
is going to duck back inside the trailer to go help Whittaker.
You're in the trailer for sure already.
Okay, so I can see her outside.
She's like coming in the normal entrance to the trailer, like just the side door. So whatever she's made is clearly only effective against you. She looks like she's going to cast a spell on you.
Gotcha. Damien's priority is still to get Whittaker okay. So he's going to go behind the guy, putting Whittaker in a chokehold. And he's going to go to do a chokehold on the guy, but since there's no way he's going to know the martial art grip for it, I'm just going to do a kick ass and just do like the life drain.
That is a 10.
-1.
Okay. Mixed success. You and whatever you're inflicting harm on hurt each other. You go to life drain this guy, and I'm gonna spin it a little bit. You don't actually get your life drain off. What happens is the woman who is casting the spell, and you're like, I'm safe, I step behind her partner. She just throws the spell at you, through both of them, and then into you, and it's a lightning. So, Whittaker, you're going to take 3 harm magic. Your assailant takes 3 harm magic, and Damien, you take 3 harm magic.
Woof.
Her use magic does get a glitch applied to it. It has a problematic side effect. This lightning knocks out the lights in the camper, so it's now pitch black. Which doesn't help them, doesn't help you. It's just problematic for everybody. As she lances a lightning bolt out of her hand, blackout. We cut to Hugo. How light a sleeper is Hugo?
He doesn't sleep well, suffice to say.
Then he probably would wake up, and you see 2 figures on either side of your bed. It's dark, the lights are off. But one of them has its eyes catching the moonlight, and they seem kind of yellowy with like a slit through them.
So he's just going to lie there.
The figure with the slitted cat's eyes reaches down and roughly pulls the blankets off of you, and you hear Rhea's voice on the other side of the bed. We're going, get up.
All right, let me put on my shoes.
Swing your feet over, put on some shoes.
He saw this coming.
Does he have New Balance?
These are closer to jet black. I guess Puma's the proper term for this one.
Hugo's on point, even when he's being abducted.
Hugo bikes. You need to have proper shoes if you're biking.
So Hugo, you knew this was coming. You're not shocked by it in any way. But when you step out of your bedroom and into the kitchen to like leave the apartment, there is a light there, and you like your eyes, you're kind of like, ugh. And Aidan is now in your kitchen, glowing golden. Hugo, what's going on?
Midnight stroll. Midnight stroll. You know.
You have enough time to say, midnight, and the creature with the cat's eyes steps out of the bedroom, sees Aidan there, and just leaps at her. So Aidan is going to try and kick some ass. That's not great. That is a 7. Yep. So she at least gets to do some damage to this thing. And I guess I will describe it, because with her golden light, it actually lights up both of them. Rhea is in a similar blacked out outfit, but her 4 arms are folded calmly. This other creature, it has like black pants on the bottom of its legs, but it is a big were-tiger. And it leaps at her. It's going to claw at her with its big angry tiger hand. She's going to go to meet that with a punch filled with her divine energy. Let's see. Tiger Claw is probably 3 harm. Aidan's punch is just a normal punch. Aidan has her 2 armor and a harm reduction. So they do that thing where their fists meet, and there's like a silent shockwave, and some of your dishes rattle. Clink, 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 clink. Right. And she quickly throws up another hand and catches the other tiger paw. And so now she's like this little glowing angel holding back this beast that's now snarling at her and got its fangs bared. Rhea says, "You really aren't making this easy for yourself."
I don't know what you're talking about, Rhea. Aidan, we have neighbors. They're trying to sleep.
Tell that to her! I'm not being loud! The tiger is just like, do you want to try and do anything, Hugo, to help the situation at all?
I'm gonna try to protect.
Nice. Describe this for me.
So I'm assuming that they are in... You said that they're essentially are in a grapple with each other's hands at this point?
Yes. They just kind of locked hands in like almost a wrestler's pose, the entryway of your, like entryway/living room of your apartment.
He's going to protect, but he's not going to protect Aidan. So he's going to move up in between the two of them and try to hit her hands in an attempt to make her let go. Because bad life choices, that's what we do here. 12.
Nice. You managed to protect.
Specifically, I'm going to go with the plus 10 thing of you hold the enemy back. But the enemy is technically my friend, but, well...
But you hold them back. So you force yourself between these two locked combatants. Aidan is wide-eyed and looks fairly freaked out. You two have dealt with monsters in the past, but they've never just shown up at your house. And these two people seem to be here to collect or kidnap you. And she just got a call from Damien saying that he and Whittaker were being attacked too. She looks at you, Hugo, and she's like, Whittaker and Damien are in trouble, and I think it's the same people. That's not reassuring. Rhea is going to make a move.
Uh-oh.
She reaches into her pocket and takes out a little capsule. It's silver chrome, and it seems to have a hinge on it of some sort. It's got banding around it that allow it to, instead of rolling when she tosses it, it just sort of settles on an edge on one of its sides. She just calmly pulls this out of one of her pockets, throws it down, and when it lands in front of Aidan and this were-tiger, the tiger quickly leaps back, and Aidan gets caught in some sort of trap that this device is creating. It's like electricity sort of wraps around her, and you see when it does that, all her golden energy gets away, and now she's just on the ground, like twitching as this thing like shocks her. And Rhea just walks over, puts a bag over Aidan's head, picks her up with all four of her arms, throws her over her shoulder. Are you coming?
You say that as if I have a choice, Rhea.
Well, you do. Conscious or unconscious.
So as they prepare to leave, he's going to turn off the set of fairy lights that are in the back corner, just to save electricity, and then, yep.
Yeah, a very ominous fairy light.
Those fairy lights from shopping together?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Bethany would be so proud.
So, we are going to pick up the following morning. Damien. Once the lights were knocked out in the camper, there was some struggling, some scuffling, and you were essentially not like disabled or rendered unconscious or anything, but with the two of them, they were able to just sort of like push you away, get him, get out of the camper, and leave. And with the barrier set up, you can't leave the camper. So, what do you do for the rest of the night? Do you immediately call other people? Are you waiting on Aidan? I imagine you would wait on Aidan for a little bit.
At that point, he's like, I've reached out to Aidan. I have to reach out to Agent Felicity and see if she can get me out of Assault Circle. I don't know if her phone is going to be on silent because she's sleeping.
It's not on silent.
She probably knew this whole thing was happening.
I do have a thing.
She did have a vision.
Well, it's let me find it. Hunches. When something bad is happening somewhere that you aren't, roll plus sharp.
So Felicity, whether you were awake or not, you get like a tingling feeling. It starts at your ankle and rises up to the top of your head. And you're just like, whoa, something's wrong.
So if I roll and I get a 10 plus, I could get there on time. 7 to 9 is get there a little late. And then on a miss, I get there in time to be in trouble myself. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah.
So you get there in time.
I feel like we could work it out where I'm on my way when Damien calls me.
Yeah, I would say that like Damien calls you. You definitely arrive in time to prevent him from like destroying the camper.
Yep. That's fair.
In order to exit it.
That's fair.
So you show up at Whittaker's camper. It's dark. The lights are off.
Damien!
Felicity, I'm trapped.
There is a faint ring, almost a soft LED kind of glow on the ground around the camper, amongst the grass.
Okay. Is the salt still on the ground? Is that...
The salt is there. That's what seems to be glowing.
Okay, can I just brush it away?
You can't just brush it away, no.
Fair.
That would defeat the purpose of putting up a barrier spell. When you go to touch the salt, it shocks you away. It's like putting your finger in a socket. You're like, ow!
Can I try to use magic?
If you want.
6 plus 3, 9. There's a glitch.
Yeah, but you pick it.
Has a problematic side effect. That's my glitch.
Okay.
Have fun.
Well, I know what the side effect is. Whittaker, for no particular reason, what car insurance do you have?
Sorry, Whittaker.
Felicity, you reach out
Mhm.
to banish this effect, and you're worried, because what did you say, Damien? I'm trapped, or did you say that, like, took Whittaker also? How much did you fill Felicity in on the situation?
Well, first is trapped, and then like once I can see like she's working on that, then you'd be like, oh, and they took Whittaker.
What?
And I think Aiden's on her way, but usually she just teleports.
You're like in the middle of like concentrating, trying to like break whatever spell this is by applying your own magic to it. And when Damien says, and they took Whittaker, you're like, what? And force erupts from your hands. It breaks the salt circle for sure. It also knocks the trailer. And it tumbles a couple times. You definitely overclocked what you needed to use on this thing. So Damien, you go flying. You definitely take at least one harm from being smacked around inside that thing as it rolls.
Would my immortality assist?
Yes, it would.
With her hand still out, she's gonna be like, this is why you tell me all of the things before the magic.
Yeah, it doesn't like go far. You knock it basically over once and then upside down. So the trailer's upside down now. Definitely dented and scratched up and probably has some other damage done to it. The door area where Damien was standing is like caved in. There's like a screeching of metal and everything. But Damien, you were able to climb out of the trailer now. It doesn't even matter that like she broke the salt circle because it's not in the salt circle anymore.
So now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little happy that they took Whittaker, so he wasn't here to see that this was me. It was definitely the ninjas.
Oh, it was the ninjas.
It was the ninjas. They flipped the trailer after they left.
Because I was so threatening and, damaging and trying to get Whittaker back so hard, they just had to flip the trailer over and get me out of the way.
Yep, that was their tactic. Like, yeah, we got him.
We need to regroup and figure out who these ninjas are, because I've never encountered that type of thing. It doesn't seem very Eastie Agency. And they didn't want to take me, which I'm a little butthurt about, but I won't take it personally. He must have angered the wrong people. But yeah, we need to regroup and figure out where he is and what's going on with Aiden.
But what do you mean what's going on with Aiden?
Well, I mean, I told Aiden that we were under attack, and Damien takes a glance at his watch. Like I said,
she's not here?
can teleport, yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no, what?
We gotta go quickly.
The good news is that Whittaker was kidnapped, and he didn't leave of his own accord, which means... Oh shit, do we have keys? Damien, glances back at the trailer. Okay, let me try to see if I can find the van keys.
Okay, while you're doing that, I'll stand on the outside and I'll fill you in on the vision that I had about Aidan and what I saw happening to her.
Pokes his head out. Electricity?
Yeah, it was horrifying. It was awful. Usually I don't get these scary kinds of vision. I mean, they're usually pretty scary and they're usually something about the future, but I feel like the last one that I had that was this bad was that one time that I was chased by that hellhound. Remember that? Remember that thing that we did together?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you died.
Just a little bit.
Good times, good times.
Raven raised an excellent question in Discord. How did you get there, Felicity, since you don't drive? Did you just run over?
I guess so.
On foot? So it is now definitely 4 a.m. Well, maybe not that long. It's definitely an hour at least to run from your house to the trailer park camping area where Whittaker's camper is usually parked. So yeah, all right, just for timing purposes, that's time spent so far. Where do you guys go from here? You take Whittaker's truck, I'm guessing?
Yes, we take the truck to go. We probably pick up Raven first.
Is
Because
Raven
if
awake?
something has
gotta call
taken
her.
care of Aidan, we'd want to pick up, Bethany and Raven and get them. All right, you call, I'll drive.
Okay, sounds good. So I will call Raven first.
What time do we say this was? Maybe like 1 in the morning?
1 in the morning, yeah.
Raven picks up immediately. She's awake.
Hello,
She's like,
Raven.
hello?
Ready to go on an adventure?
Yep.
So here's the quick rundown. There's ninjas. They stole Agent Whittaker.
Oh.
They definitely flipped over his trailer too.
Raven knows she's lying.
Yeah, you have that power, right?
Definitely
does
was
not
the
get
ninjas that flipped over the trailer.
Okay.
Damien was there. He called Aidan. Aidan said that she would come. Didn't come. I had a vision about Aidan. She was all jacked up to this electricity thing. It was very scary. She was in a lot of pain. So I'm afraid that's going to happen soon. So we're coming to pick you up.
Okay. How positive are you that Aidan is in danger right now? Would it be worth swinging by her apartment to see if she's there, or do you think it's
She
too
said
late?
she was on her way.
Okay.
Call Hugo. He's right next door.
Good idea. That's a great idea.
I'll call Hugo. You guys get here.
Okay.
I'll be outside.
And now I'll call Bethany and say the same exact thing.
It's 1 a.m.
Yes.
1 a.m.
What day of the week is it?
It's coming off a Saturday, so it's 1 a.m. Sunday.
Bethany does answer the phone. She does sound really frazzled. Hi, what's going on?
Ninjas?
Is somebody dying? What?
Maybe. We're coming to pick you up. Do we know where we're driving?
You have no idea where to go right now.
We don't know. We're coming to get you.
I am not at my house right now, Felicity. I do not think you understand.
Where are you?
So sometimes, Felicity, you make poor judgments. And Bethany eyes the Tinder date she is at the house of.
Uh-huh.
It's not going well. So I would really appreciate if we don't reveal the identity of the person who I'm bound to ghost in a day or two or let down gently.
That's okay.
I have to put my pants on.
Definitely have an excuse now.
I will drive over. What?
So,
I can't tell him that there's ninjas.
There's ninjas. They stole Agent Whittaker. They also maybe stole Aidan. Not quite sure, but she's definitely in danger. Everything is bad. Please, meet us at Raven's house. That's where we're heading right now.
I'll be there. And Bethany looks over her Tinder date, who we don't have to give an identity to, because hopefully he'll never come up again.
You can guarantee I've taken a note.
Tinder date is campaign Big Bad. Yeah. It's just like, I got somebody I know just got attacked by ninjas. Puts on
the best
any
policy.
clothes she did not have on. And she walks out before there's any other questions, and we'll hope that he just assumed she didn't want to see him anymore.
Okay, yeah.
Perfect.
So
I drive to Ravens.
Raven, you're calling Hugo.
Yeah, as soon as she hangs up with Felicity, she's gonna dial Hugo. Does Hugo pick up?
Hugo, did you leave your phone in the apartment?
Oh no, he brought it with him.
Okay.
Probably the dumb idea. Although he's put it into airplane mode.
So does that mean he won't get the call? Like it won't come up?
It's
No.
mainly to turn off GPS stuff, so.
Raven is only like less than half expecting him to actually answer. Like she said like, oh, I'll call him. And then as soon as she hung up with Felicity, was like, Hugo never answers his phone.
I mean, Hugo doesn't because the call doesn't go through to him.
Yeah, as soon as that happens, she's gonna text him in like a private, just text him and just be like, hey, are you good? Some weird stuff's going on tonight. Get back to me soon, okay? And then just get herself ready.
Yep.
Grab her knife and all that, and then wait outside the front of her house.
An hour has gone by since our little kerfuffle. Agent Whittaker, you awake on like a simple cot. It's canvas stretched over some wooden poles. But you immediately sit up, I assume, and take in your surroundings. There is a torch in a sconce across the hallway from the room that you're in. Iron jail bars frame the cell that you're in. And across the way, in a separate cell, is Hugo Rashad.
This is some classic acolyte shit, ain't it? Classic.
See, I tell you, I
They know how
told
to
you.
set a mood, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Hey, at least they gave you a cot this time.
Oh, do you get a cot? He looks in. Does Hugo get a cot?
Hugo has like one of those folding canvas chairs.
Honestly, they could have not. I would have. They could have not.
What would you have, though?
Oh, we got one through the ceiling and one through the front door.
Oh.
Is Damien here? I don't think he would be, but he was involved, at least briefly, in the scuffle.
Haven't seen him. That doesn't really mean much, though, I guess.
Are you really on that bad terms with your group here? Why are you in here, too? I assume this is them, right? I messed with their stuff, and now they're throwing me in here.
See, I don't know if I should tell you that. I can neither confirm nor deny that we messed up. Well, no, I can confirm we messed up. I cannot neither confirm nor deny that this is the result of us messing up.
It feels pretty. It's got the same smell there, that little downstairs basement area.
Mm-hmm.
God, that's. I mean, a lot of basements kind of have that dusty smell, but you know what I'm saying. It's got the same vibe. All right. Well, I imagine you're gonna be about as talkative as ever. Is there anything I can expect? Should I be writing my will?
Bold of you to assume that anyone would see it.
So what? We just wait here?
Yep.
Is this your first time in the jail cell part of your secret society?
Oh no, it's like an old home at this point.
God, that's depressing. All right. Well, am I correct in assuming you're not going to say too much about what I am to expect or what this place is or anything to that sort?
Yep.
This is an interesting circumstance because you were allowed to come here because you know where this place is. Whittaker was knocked out because they don't want anyone knowing where they are. You weren't aware that Whittaker was being taken when you were like brought in by Rhea and her sister. But once you went into the jail cell and you looked across, you saw Whittaker unconscious, you were like, huh, because normally the Whisper does not take prisoners. So it is interesting that Whittaker is still breathing.
Those East Agency connections. They're taking
Yep.
caution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, someone's saying something and someone else is listening to that something. So I want to pause there for a second. We're going to cut away to Aidan, who wakes up kind of groggy at first, looks around her, and she is in that room that Felicity saw in her vision with lots of monitors and spectrograph waves and things, and it's just like a science lab. And there's this generator and more of those little trap devices with the square corners on them. She goes to move and sees that she's restrained in this thing. She goes to light up and break out, and as soon as she does, a switch flicks and and that gold light immediately diminishes. She's now normal again. And we see energy being generated by the device that she's strapped to, then get transferred into a receptacle where one of these little trap devices is. And we hear a kind of a muffled voice from a desk off to the side. I cannot believe it worked. And a gentleman stands up from behind this desk, possibly related to Rhea. He has a cane with him that he does limp over on, less for show, like Argyle's. And he stands in front of Aidan, and she says, "Where's Hugo? Why are you doing this?" "Hugo is fine for now. I am very interested in you, but I am being rude, of course. My name is Dr. Singh, and you are?" And she glances around the room, trying to see if there's anyone else here listening. "My name is Aidan, but that's not really what you want to ask me, is it?" And the doctor says, Right. Why mince words? Yes, let's get right to it. How are you here?" It would be a long story. "I have to imagine that you are not eager to stick around. This is not where you belong. But I have so many ideas for how we could get you home and help me and my people in the process. And she says, what are you doing with those devices over there? Gestures just by looking at the trap modules. Ah, yes, an ingenious invention of my own design. He goes over and picks one up. Quite simple, but ornate in its simplicity. This device I have created to instantly banish a spirit or demon from whence it came. I am a man of peace, you understand, and all the fighting that our hunters do with is... I do not like it. I do not like that my daughters have to engage in that sort of thing. And so I have designed this. It is instant, painless, even for the most detestable of monsters. It will send them home, away from here, and there is no more danger. But you, it did not send you home. I am so curious about this. And he sets it back down on the table and wheels over a laptop cart and begins typing. And he says, perhaps we should begin at the beginning? And we will cut away from that scene. Raven, you're waiting by your car. Damien and Felicity, you guys pull up in Whittaker's truck.
Damien does not drive with
Safely.
the regard for the law that Whittaker does. Screeches around corners. It is a good thing he has not let Damien drive yet.
Okay, so you knock over Raven's mailbox and just and luckily brake before hitting her car or her or anything else more important.
Love Raven. Damien drives fun. Let's go save some friends.
Hey, Damien, you know what's really cool? Having other people drive you around. Have you heard about that? That's a thing. Can I drive?
Yes. I think having gotten us here, I think I can resume my role as director and enjoy the back seat.
Good. All right, that's perfect. You sit back and relax. We'll figure out where we're going, and Raven will just take the keys, get in the front seat. She's just gonna glance sadly at her parents' mailbox.
We can fix that in the morning.
It's not fancy. He broke the post it was on.
Yeah, I imagine it's still up. It's just really tilted.
Yeah.
Is it simple enough that duct tape could do it in 5 minutes?
And maybe if you just push on it and kind of straighten it out, it'll be fine. It's not a big deal. Aiden's possibly missing. We need to focus.
And Agent Whittaker.
Yes, he's definitely missing.
We can't forget Agent Whittaker. I need to tell him about the ninjas flipped over his camper.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they kidnapped Whittaker and the ninjas flipped his camper with some sort of
Guys, I know you're lying.
spell.
It's fine. I'll back you up.
Thanks. I can't afford that.
Okay, so Felicity, you saw a vision. One of your things that you see. You know for sure that happened.
I know for sure that it is going to happen.
Okay.
And I assume soon.
Can we say that while Raven was waiting, she tried to call Aidan just in case she hadn't gotten kidnapped yet, and she's just chilling at home? I imagine it would just go to voicemail after ringing a bunch of times.
Yeah,
but
if you call her, you get her standard voicemail after it rings a few times.
She'll send a text very similar to the one she texted Hugo, and just be like, hey, just checking in, hope everything's okay, let me know. Yeah, she just wants to cover all the bases she doesn't want to burst into her apartment if Aiden's fine. But
yeah, no reply.
Yeah, Raven's gonna just ask Felicity to give her an exact play-by-play of everything she can remember from her vision of any clues. I know we established it earlier, but just for continuity's sake, have her recount the whole thing again.
I do that.
So they can try and figure, and we're waiting for Bethany, right?
She drives up in her car, pounding, blasting music. Because she was on a date. Her high heels, her chunky high heels. She's in her fucking tight-ass dress. Her hair and makeup are done. She looks nice. She was ready for a date.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, what really happened? Was it actually ninjas, or was that
It was actually Damien. Tell her.
Oh, it was actually ninjas. Okay.
Yeah. Well, they were dressed in full black, but
So
Whittaker?
Got to get a pair.
we know Whittaker has been taken. We know that for sure.
Okay.
Damien saw it. He has been taken by the ninja people.
Mhm.
And we have very good reason to believe that Aidan is in danger. I can't get a hold of her. It's very possible that these things are connected.
Aidan is usually just fine. She's all magic and stuff.
Well,
I called her and was like, hey, teleport over here. And she was like, yeah, sure, I'll come help. And then she never showed up.
And we can't get a hold of her now. And Felicity had a vision that she was in
vision?
grave
I had
danger.
a vision that she was in this dark, spooky tunnel thing room, and she was strapped up to a whole thing and being electrocuted, and it looked like drained of fancy golden magic that she has. Or at least she was not doing hot.
Wow, okay. That's a lot to take in. So, Whittaker's car?
Whittaker's car.
Raven's gonna offer to run inside really quick and grab some like leggings and sneakers for Bethany.
No,
Are you good in heels?
my hope is that this look will absolutely kill everybody else around, but please also bring leggings and sneakers. That was a really good joke, but I need leggings and sneakers as well, just in case.
Okay.
So Raven, you run inside, you go to your room. I assume most of your family is asleep at this point.
Oh yeah. They're used to Raven being awake, so they're not too concerned if they hear her up and around.
Do you want to describe your family cat?
Oh yeah. So the Eugenia family has this absolutely enormous Maine Coon cat. He's got like the big fluffy chest and like the wispy fur coming out of his ears, and he's just this like beautiful, majestic cat. He's probably like 5 years old. His name is Muffins. The family put naming to a vote, and unfortunately the two youngest twins ganged up and won. And so his name is Muffins. And I think he didn't get along with Wendy at first, but now they've kind of established.
I was going to say, like, you come up into your room, Wendy has one of those cat toys that has the long stick and then the mouse thing on the end. And they're just sitting on the edge of your bed, flicking it back and forth and watching Muffin, like, chase after it.
I'm so glad.
Just chilling.
Yeah, Muffins definitely hated Wendy at first and was very, very unsure and probably hissed and swatted a couple times, but eventually they sorted it out. And
a couple of quill arrows, you know, in the rump really established a pecking order quickly. And again, this is only that same evening. So because your cat is like, it's socialized, so like, you know, Wendy using the toy throws off the like a strange animal vibe to like, oh, a thing that will play with me. So yeah, so Wendy is there. When you come in, its ear kind of like flick flick, and then it throws the toy across the room, stands up and looks at you like, what's wrong? You can just sense that something's bugging you.
So as she's gathering the stuff for Bethany, she's gonna just quietly explain to Wendy, I think some of my friends are in danger. We're gonna go try and find them, save them. I don't really know. Do you want to come with me? And she still doesn't really know Wendy's intelligence. So after she says that, she kind of looks at him and does like the pats her thighs and like, come on. Like, do you want to come with me?
Are you like kneeling over a little bit?
Yeah.
So Wendy is sitting there, and as you're talking, it occasionally will like tilt its head or like nod a little bit. Like,
she has no idea how much of this is actually
and like
getting
its ears are definitely active and listening and everything. And you say, do you want to come with me? And like open your hands. You see Wendy starts to almost be blown away, like dust in the wind. Fall colored leaves also start to like be blown away as its form vanishes. But the swirling leaves do a quick once around your room and then gather around your shoulder, and Wendy appears and is just like ready to go.
All right, let's go. And she'll give Muffins a little head scratch and tell him to be good.
Muffins goes over and like paws at one of Wendy's quills that's like stuck in your hardwood floor. You guys are going to the Riverview apartments then to look for Aidan first?
I think that's the only lead we've got. And potentially see if Hugo's there.
I can try to tune in.
Ooh. Yeah.
See what's going on.
Whatever that means. Do it.
Damien, give me
Can
the
you
best.
do it while I'm driving?
Yes, I could.
Cool.
I could try. Damien, give me the best description you can of the people who came to your house. Tell me what they look like.
Okay, so and Damien like pulls out like he's picked up some like clothes that aren't exactly the same, but he like picks up like a black shirt and like black pants, and, like just quickly puts it on and gets another black t-shirt, like wraps it around his face to sort of imitate how they were dressed.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to tune in.
I should mention, like, While ninja is the quick pop culture reference to pull up, they're not in like Asian garb at all. You know, it's like tactical night suit gear.
Dope. Let me look for them. 8. Yeah, 8. So, hold 1. Where are they right now?
God, what a great skill.
What a
Awesome.
game-breaking skill, Monster of the Week.
Yeah, it's literally like, where are they right now? What's it planning to do next? Who is it going to attack next? It's broken.
Felicity, you think to yourself, where are they right now? And you do reach out. You feel the magic working with you. Your ability to sense things far off and disparate from your own personal experience, you get that flash of connection. And you see 2 figures, like Damien described, with their faces masked in these like black tight-fitted tactical suits, walking down some stairs. It's a spiral stone staircase, and they are descending, and they seem to come into a room that is filled with old books and scrolls. And it's not just 2 of them. There's a couple other figures. These are in hoods. They seem to be following the other figure, and they're walking through this like, it looks ancient. You're like, I don't know anywhere in Autumn Falls that looks like this. You see that they're in a place, a castle. You're not really, I mean, that's what you see. For where are they right now?
So they're in a castle with books. There's books. There's some scrolls. There's a spiral stair. There's a lot more of them than we thought. There's not just 2, but they're in a castle with scrolls. That's what I got.
You're sure it's a castle?
It looks it looks ancient. It looks not like anything around.
I don't want to be meta, but I feel like all of them sitting there being like, spooky and cryptic, scrolls, Hugo.
Listen, I mean, he touches his things all the time. I would love to go inside of his apartment and take a look around and, touch everything he touches. So this sounds great.
I'm fine
Raven's
going into his apartment.
Raven's going to toss her phone to somebody in the car and be like, one of you text Hugo, say, it's an emergency. If you are home, you need to let us inside. I need to cover all of our bases.
Has anyone tried to call him yet?
I did. He didn't answer.
Okay.
It went straight to
text
voicemail.
him.
His phone might be off. I don't know.
And I'm going to say, coming to your place. Sorry if we break in. Baby, let us in the door. Thanks. Love, Felicity.
Okay. A text is sent to Hugo's phone, which is in airplane mode, and under who knows how many miles of stone. When you guys get to the apartments, they're not answering the door. So I'll let you think about like what your next move is while we return to Whittaker and Hugo. Some time goes by. I think you guys maybe end the awkward banter back and forth and are now just sitting there waiting. No idea what's going to happen next. Whittaker and Hugo, also in the same boat, but you at least know it's going to suck a lot. After a little while, probably the time it takes like the crew to meet up at Raven's and then drive over to your apartment, a figure in a robe comes walking down the hallway towards the 2 of you in your cells. When they get close enough, they take the hood off, and it is Joseph Argyle. And he has a little like wooden stool that he's brought. He sets it down, sits between the 2 of you. I apologize for the situation.
Breaking and entering is this the preferred method of inviting us deeper in?
I assure you, you are not being invited to anything, Mr. Whittaker. The abduction, as you would call it, while regrettably violent, is still the standard procedure for our operatives to ensure that no one knows where they are when they are brought to this place. You don't know where you are, I must assume.
Not particularly, no. Well, I understand the need for proper procedure, so you get that one.
Hugo, you understand you are a special case?
For the most part.
I don't know if there will be room for another.
Just as that one's in the air.
Mr. Whittaker, I'm doing everything I can to argue for your clemency. But you have to understand that my clout, as it were, within the Order, has been stretched very thin in recent times.
And he gives Hugo a look like, guess why?
I hope you understand I greatly appreciate your efforts. Is there anything I can offer on behalf of the agency and their resources to get me a better deal?
No, and I wouldn't offer that as a bargaining chip either. You have to understand, our group. And he also pauses, like, how much should I be saying of this?
Mm-hmm.
But he, like, kind of is looking at you the way he might look at a death row inmate, Whittaker, and he says, this group is not like your agency. We do not want our existence to be known by anyone who is not a member. That might seem archaic to you, but we are an archaic group. The war that our forefathers started fighting has been going on since the dawn of time. And over those many, many years, and having lost countless members to that fight, the traditions and protocols that have managed to keep the most members safe, alive, and doing the job they are trained to do have forged the Order into its current form, a dedicated and unflinching group of warriors, honed to a razor's edge, and called upon to fight enemies with abilities even more fearsome than those which we can teach and pass down. You strike me as a man who has perhaps worked in intelligence at some point in his life.
That is correct.
Consider that if it is known a nation has spies, then those spies have already lost some of their advantage. And without lecturing you with the philosophical tenets that many, including myself, must often use to quiet our consciences, if no one knows about us, Mr. Whittaker, then no one can plot to destroy us. Our membership is not large for both of those reasons.
Your reasons are more than sound. Then let me at least promise this. I often fall back on the Eastie Agency because it has worked as a bargaining chip for me many a time before. But I do hope you understand that in situations such as these, and from my own personal experience, there are plenty of things relating to the other world that I have not told the Eastie Agency, and I am more than willing to make this one of them. I know that may not be much, and that may not go very far, but that's all I got for now.
The ability to keep a secret is certainly something to be valued. We will have to see if the other council leaders are willing to accept our defense of your case. Either way, it shouldn't be long now before they all arrive, and then the tribunal will officially begin. And he glances over at you, Hugo. What do they say about last chances?
I honestly don't remember.
Don't squander them. And he gets up, puts his hood back on, and retreats back down the hallway.
Hugo,
Hmm.
when did you know? When did you know that the world was a little bigger than you thought it was as a child? Was it here?
Involuntarily, yes.
How old were you?
Oh, it was only a few years ago.
All right.
Was I 23 when I was doing my defense, or was I 24? Oh, right. It was after that. Yeah, 23.
And you just sort of stumbled in? Or were you looking?
Suffice to say, I was looking, but I found much more than I was bargaining for. I thought I was just going to be talking to a bunch of people, but no, it got complicated very quickly.
Has, it was only a few years ago, has this group been the only lens through which you've seen the other world?
Well, I wouldn't call Aidan a lens, so.
When did you meet Aidan?
When I moved in.
All right.
She was here before I got here.
Are you sorry?
Sorry for what?
Are you sorry that you knew, that you found out?
Not at all.
Sometimes it seems like you kind of resent everything in a silent, non-reactive sort of way, and I wasn't sure if that was it or if I was just misreading you.
Oh, no, I do resent it. Fully, and they know I resent it. Honestly, I think some of them take pleasure out of the fact that I resent it. Doesn't mean I'm sorry for it.
But you do it the same all over again if you had the chance.
If I had the chance, I'd do it without them bashing me over the head. That would have been nice, but I find a different means.
It's reasonable. It's reasonable. Are they a particularly violent group? Not sure what to expect here.
Is your agency a particularly violent group?
Depends on who you ask.
Depends on who you ask.
We will jump back over to our favorite angel in captivity. She is sort of fidgeting at one of the restraints to see if she can kind of like loosen her wrist enough to get out. The doctor is typing away at his computer, and he says,
Please, do not make this more difficult than it needs to be. I do not wish to hurt you, but I would ask, if you are given the opportunity to protect hundreds, perhaps thousands of people, would you make a sacrifice in order to do it?
and she glares at him and she says, I have been protecting people for longer than your history books can recall.
So then, this should be very easy for you.
And he hits a couple buttons on the laptop and the machine starts whirring and it shocks her again. Lightning crackling and everything. A bit of golden essence is removed from her chest and immediately is drawn towards these receptacles to fill the little traps. And he takes his glasses off, adjusts, looks at his notes. He says, excellent, excellent. Do you not love when science falls into place? Like click, click, click. I apologize for taking you from your mission. But what you are helping me to create will do so much good in the world. Do you know why we exist? Shakes her head. She's like sweating now from the exertion of like all her muscles contracting a bunch while this electricity shocks her. She says, I don't know anything about your group other than that you've got your clutches on Hugo. And the doctor nods thoughtfully. Yes, he is a special case, much like many of our members. But the worlds that membership in this group opens, it is not something you can trade away once you know about it. What about you? Is there something you would never trade? And she bites her lip and again like struggles at the restraints. The things I value wouldn't even register on your scales. And he nods thoughtfully. He says, you are the most curious creature I have ever seen, and quite beautiful, I must say. The glow, the wings, everything. But, as I said, you do not belong here. So let us send you home. And hits the button again, and at the apartments.
Important question about Hugo's apartment. Does he have a little doormat outside his door?
Yes, he does.
Raven's going to check underneath it in case there's an extra key.
So you don't find a key, but also the door isn't locked.
In fact, the door is a little ajar.
Oh, yes. This is the kind of shit I'm talking about. I push open that door.
Hugo!
Finally. Hugo, we're here.
You hear a mug shatter.
Hugo is not here.
Yeah, it is pitch dark.
Can I investigate a mystery?
Please do.
You know, he probably liked that mug too.
Can I also investigate a mystery? Can we both do it?
Why don't you let Felicity do it first, and then if she doesn't do so well, you could roll help out to bump her up into a success if you need
I
it.
can also
Okay.
enlist Ghosty and Tom to help me investigate a mystery. I'm not entirely sure what that does, but they can help me.
Raven's
Okay.
also just gonna turn on her flashlight.
All right.
She's
I mean,
spooked.
you can turn on the lights of the apartment if you want.
If she heard something break from inside, she's creeped out.
That's the
12!
mood. The flashlight's for the mood. Nice job, Felicity.
Thanks!
Yeah.
12 with Ghosty and Tom.
All right,
helping
ask your
me out.
questions.
What is being concealed here?
You're searching Hugo's apartment. again, it's Hugo's place. There's not a lot in terms of furnishings and decor, so it's very easy to do a quick cursory check of just the different areas. Where was the mug that got knocked over, Hugo?
The mug was by the door,
Okay.
and it got broken by the door being open so forcefully.
And kind of like kicked into the wall, probably. So you guys do a quick look through the apartment, and it's, not huge. So you're looking around. You don't see a lot, but Felicity, you notice Ghosty and Tom run into Hugo's closet, and they don't run out right away. So you go over and look in that closet, and there's a chest in there. Correct, Hugo?
Oh.
Yep.
Okay, so there's this old-looking chest. I don't think it would be locked, right, Hugo?
Yep, not locked at all.
Yeah, so it just flips open. What's inside? I'll let you describe it.
So inside, you'd find multiple books, some of them in languages that are easy to understand, some of them in various characters that make it difficult to read. And you also find a series of metal ingots that you can't really tell what metal it's made out of. You have seen that metal before because it was the same one that he put on the table many, many weeks ago. And you also find a rifle cleaning kit.
And armor hanging up?
Armor hanging up in the back area, or the back of the closet itself. At first, you think it looks like just some Renaissance fair gear, and then not quite.
I'm going to pull it out and be like, guys, I think Hugo LARPs. Look at this.
What a nerd. Wait.
There it is. We worked it in.
So I'm going to pull out the chest, and I'm going to show it to everybody. So confirmed, Hugo is still a nerd. But a nerd with a rifle, apparently.
Is that like disassembled in its own case, like in the closet too?
The rifle itself isn't actually in the building. The room does have quite a bit of the different rocks that Felicity's been giving him.
Dope! Love that.
You also notice that the window is open, the double swinging hinged window that looks out on the parking lot, maybe? It's either the parking lot or the river. Those are the two views you get in this apartment building. And you see on the ground, kind of towards the entrance, some scratches in the tile. And also a little mark that looks like something was scorched or burned there.
Following the people who are looking around the room and just mimicking exactly what they are doing. And then remembers, oh shoot, we have to check on Aidan. So then he phases through the wall to Aidan's room.
I'll follow Damien. Well, I'll see him phase, and then I'll go around to the door to go to Aidan's.
Her door is closed, but also not locked. And when you guys are over there, you see that her headphones and her CD player are just kind of like tossed onto the couch, still going, but just like left there.
I have one more question too.
Go ahead.
Where did it go?
If we ask it enough, we're bound to get it right.
Where did it go? If Hugo isn't here, I mean, the only other place Hugo goes a lot is the museum.
Yeah, I think at this point we can say we've deduced
That he's at the museum.
that we need to look to the museum next.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, I have this weird feeling that maybe he's at the museum.
Can I ask a question on something?
Yeah.
How did Hugo and Aidan actually get to their final destination? Because I'm curious if Hugo's bike is actually still there.
Yeah, I wanted to check for Hugo's bike, but we kind of moved forward to his room, and I was like, I gotta know if the bike's...
He keeps his bike in the apartment, remember? He takes it apart and puts the wheel in the closet or whatever.
So-
It is there. Hugo, you did not take the bike.
He is taken by force, we know for sure now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The bike wheel is there. His bike is out on the rack outside. I will message you, Hugo, how you arrived where you're at.
As soon as Raven sees the bike in the apartment, she is 10 times more panicked.
2 questions. 1, what was Aidan listening to? Because Damien would have just instinctively like, oh, Aidan does this. I want to do this. And he like puts the headphones on to see.
Okay. It's a mix of like Celtic folk songs. So a lot of like violin. It's like Celtic women adjacent stuff. Actually, it's a recording of like a years old episode of A Celtic Sojourn, if anybody listens to that on NPR. So it's got all the radio bumps and stuff in it also.
Yeah, NPR is very Aidan. My second question, can Damien disguise himself to look like one of the stealth Black Ops guys that got us?
Yeah.
Cool.
You would just use your shapeshift to now you look like them.
Whoa.
I will say
Perfect.
though, like you wouldn't be able to shapeshift and then take the mask off and be like, "It was you all along." Like it would just be Damien's face or no face.
Yeah.
Damien, if you shapeshift, when and where do you do that, or do you just stay in that form for a little while?
No, he's not just gonna like Shazam, but he is gonna like bring that up as like an option, as like, hey,
Okay.
if I bring you guys in, then it sort of looks more legit, and it's sort of the Star Wars play of dressing up as a stormtrooper and leading in the prisoners.
So do you demonstrate your ability to shift into them at all?
Yes.
Would Damien have showed us in the car? I imagine he just did all the stuff with the clothes and then remembered he can just shapeshift.
But yes, he remembers that he has powers and
Wait,
transforms.
I
at
can
some point.
shapeshift. I have a question.
Yes.
So our plan is to shapeshift, go in, and then what? We either gotta think of a plan around this one, or I don't personally think trying to sneak in, pretending we were kidnapped is the best idea. Are we trying to fight our way out? Do we know who our enemy is? We don't know any of this. We just know that they wear a lot of cool dark clothes and have a nice aesthetic. We can't really do
I
much
don't have
about
a plan. I've just seen
That's
Star
not
Wars.
special. So does Raven.
I don't want to go in assuming we know anything about these guys, because for all we know, they're going to be right behind us. Like, they're going to jump out from behind the walls because they can also face the walls like Damien just did. And we're dead so.
Well, is there a way to get in contact?
Are you disguised as one of them right now?
Yeah, to demonstrate. He would have been like, yeah.
Which one?
The one with the tonfas.
Okay, so the guy.
Yes.
Raven, I need you to investigate a mystery.
Ooh. I got an 11.
I'm going to tell you what question you need to ask.
Okay.
What is being concealed here?
Ooh. All right.
When you look at Damien transformed as this like assailant,
Mm-hmm.
it takes you a second because again their face is covered and you're like, oh, guy in a thing. But then you like actually look at his transformed face and you know those eyes.
Oh no.
You know them because you have sparred with this man for years. He has taught lessons. He has pressured you into teaching lessons. You're looking at the eyes of Haru Yoshida.
Ah! Love that.
Raven's gonna get up to Damien and kind of like grab him by the face and like stare in the eyes.
Yeah.
And be like, are you sure that this is accurate? Like, you are positive this is exactly what the assailants look like? Down to every detail, like gesturing to the eyes.
Damien is going to grab Raven by the face in just the same way and say yes.
I know who one of them is. And she's gonna turn and face the group and kind of gesture to Damien and be like, this is Haru from the karate studio. I know him. I've sparred with him every week for the last like 6 years. So we know something about them. Who's to say the other one isn't his sister? I don't think that's a stretch.
Yeah, hold on, give me a second.
Kind of looks like Noriko.
Oh god. What are we getting into?
Hey there, adventurers. What are these hunters getting into this week? The episode's been chock full of danger and suspense. If even this amount of magical mystery isn't enough for you, and you need another fix of Monster of the Week content, B.H. Whitmore's Paranormal Investigations is a delightful webcomic based on a Monster of the Week campaign. Follow the adventures of a group of ghost hunters solving paranormal mysteries in fictional 1950s Boston. Adventurers, you know the sort of story a Monster of the Week game is bound to deliver, and we know you love that because you're here with us. These ghost hunters are learning the trade, learning about themselves, and the more secrets and motives they uncover, the more relationships are strained to a breaking point. The heroes of B.H. Whitmore's Paranormal Investigations soon discover that ghosts and ghouls aren't always the greatest threat. You can join this adventuring group of investigators on Webtoons almost every week. And if you're a secret weeb like some of us on our crew,
I think you'll really like the slight dash of anime flavor they include in the storytelling and characterizations. You know, we ought to do an adventure in Boston. Guy, can you imagine our hunters hanging around Copley in the marketplace? They'd probably get up to trouble with that green monster, am I right? I think that'd be wicked fucking fun, my dudes. Anyway, catch you later, adventurers.
I had some semblance of a plan before I figured this out, and now I was gonna suggest maybe do what we talked about, but not with everybody. Just have Damien disguised as one of them. Maybe walk one of us in and have the others on the outside as backup.
Or what if we just break into their houses and see what they've got? I mean, we did it here. Let's check out their places.
No, I feel like maybe Aiden's in too
If
much
Aiden's in
danger.
danger, yeah. I agree with Felicity. We need to.
Felicity,
really
you're
need to
getting
go.
that twinge in your head has been
Something bad is happening?
no, literally a headache.
Oh, okay.
You're getting like flashes of like just headache pain occasionally now.
I, Bethany Miller, have a question. Why the fuck is this bad news? We now know who two of them are. And yes, okay, they can definitely kick our ass on a normal day. Absolutely. Have you seen me? I'm fit and I'm hot, but I'm not that strong yet. But
I heard about your kickboxing class.
Oh, thank you. I really tried my best. But also, they don't fucking expect us. Nobody thinks that I'm friends with Hugo. Like, in no worlds would Hugo want to be my friend. And that's obviously a leg up in this situation. We all know that Aidan and Raven are best friends, but that's about it. And they don't expect Raven to be helping out because they think Raven doesn't know shit right now. I don't know the deal with Whittaker. They probably think he's a loner except for Damien, but Damien's not coming. Haru is. And Felicity can do fucking magic.
Ah!
So we know who two of them are. That is more than we knew about 5 minutes ago when I asked us if we knew who any of them were. We know how to disguise ourselves. I don't want to hear any of this nonsense about now it's all different because we know that two of them could kick our ass on a normal day, because it's not a normal day. That's what I'm thinking. Look, it's not a good pep talk, but it's going to work for us because we don't have our usual team leader here. So let's go kick ass and get our friends back.
Raven, Windy is on your shoulder. At first, as Bethany is like going off on one of her long pep talks, its ears are kind of like, they start like alert, and then they slowly go back, and then like throughout the speech, as she like gets to like, so we're gonna go out, we're gonna fight, we're gonna kick butt, and it like then its ears like perk back up, and it like hops off your shoulder, goes over to Bethany, raises one of its paws for like a high five.
What the fuck is this? I high five Raven's pet. Wendy?
Oh
Yeah, you've
god,
never
that's
met
right.
Wendy.
You didn't meet Wendy.
See Wendy?
Has Wendy been concealing itself from Bethany?
It unglamours in order to like high five you.
But this whole time while it was with me.
This whole time, no, she couldn't see it.
This is Wendy, my nature spirit.
Is that an emotional support animal?
Yes.
Oh,
So-
I have one more investigate a mystery question since I rolled an 11. Can I ask what can hurt it? And that can be in the sense of when Raven's taken all these classes and she knows these two people, does she know anything that they're not super strong at? Like, Haru's really good at sparring, but like, has either of them ever mentioned anything in passing of like, oh, I'm not very good at this, or like, oh, I have bad knees, or I'm allergic to peanuts? Like, I don't know. Do they have any weaknesses Raven would know about?
Well, short of putting him into anaphylactic shock, Haru's been training longer than you, but you've been training with Haru the entire time you've been training. So you actually do know some of his tells and like spots in his form where he leaves himself open. You know that Noriko doesn't train as much as he does. She's like not as gung-ho about like the physical side of being part of the dojo. Again, she works reception a lot of the time. But again, you just found out they were like part of the secret group with Hugo, so you're not sure what you can trust of their like public faces at this point. But Damien, you saw them get shot by Whittaker, and you observed some of the fight, and they definitely just seemed like skilled humans. Like you don't have any reason to suspect Haru or Noriko being like supernatural in some way?
I know that Naruko is able to do salt circles and shoot electricity out of her hands.
That's true. You know that Noriko is a witch or a spellcaster of some sort.
Damien is going to go over to Felicity and pull out a bottle of Tylenol from the tactical vest and shake some out for her. But it's weird because this, Spec Ops military person like shakes out Tylenol just like the TV commercial person does. Like completely over the top, like, here, and gives her the pills, and it's like, I just want to be hot and fit like Bethany. Now I want to go on a date too. But yeah, let's go save the day.
So Damien, I did think of one tiny little flaw in our plan. You're disguised as Haru right now, right? And you're going to take one of us in and infiltrate like that, right?
I think I know
yes.
What happens if we see Haru?
Can you disguise your face under there? You know how to do different faces. Could you just be in Haru's clothing with like maybe slight adjustments? Give yourself different eyes and then try not to talk too much and don't answer questions if people ask what your name is.
Yeah.
That would eliminate the accidentally running into himself problem. It might buy us a little bit more time in case wherever we're going, Haru's the one who like opens the door.
Would be a little bit like that Spider-Man meme, though. I'd be looking forward to that.
Amazing.
So who's going to be the bait? And Raven kind of glances at Bethany real quick.
Bethany can do it.
I am made to be bait. That's why I'm wearing this dress. No one expects me to be anything other than the girl in the town tonight. But yes, I'll be the bait.
I didn't want to offend you, but I felt like that's what you were implying.
One final question before we proceed with this definitely flawless plan.
Mm-hmm.
So, Bethany's captured, right? Why?
That is
I'm
valid.
looking for Hugo.
I mean, you're all dressed up. Maybe say that you were Hugo's date. I mean,
yeah.
I feel like maybe Hugo's boss would know that that's a lie, but...
Wait.
This is a great idea.
I like it too.
I got enough dumb bitch energy in this beautiful body to really sell the fact that I thought Hugo had stood me up and I went to his house to yell at him, only to be found by other people. Just say you left your keys or something.
I do want to touch on, just as a keeper, to remind you guys, you have leads, but you still need to figure out where they are, right? Because as much as Felicity can like zero in and be like, I know exactly where they are, Stony Bunker somewhere, like that doesn't really help finding them.
I mean, I think we established that our next hunch is the museum. So for right now, I think we should look for Hugo next. I think the plan for right now,
museum.
Anyone we encounter, go to the museum. Anyone we encounter, Damien is like, I found this lady sniffing around looking for Hugo, and then you play the angry, stood up date.
I'm ready.
You're angry that you've been taken in and you're confused, which, easy to sell, and you need to know where Hugo is, and that's why Damien's bringing you in. I feel like it's a start. Anyone we encounter who seems like they're involved, that's the play.
We can wing it from there.
What are your
and
thoughts
Felicity and I have
on...
little friends we can use as messengers and or like stealth. Maybe have Ghosty and Tom follow you guys in and have them report back if you guys are in trouble and we'll burst in.
Good idea.
I'm just spitballing here. Wendy can help too.
Bethany, you might want to act unconscious and put a bag over your head.
I worked really hard on this makeup. I understand. I would rather be able to have my eyes open under the bag. So I'm gonna go with the bag over my head thing. Here's the thing, I can always redo it. I can always touch up my face. It's just you guys who are gonna see me. So it's fine.
All right, so that group is going to head over to the museum. Agent Whittaker, some more time goes by. This time, the figures that approach the cells are not hooded. They're the pair of black-suited individuals that abducted you. But they are joined by two more individuals, one who you recognize because you only know one person in the world with 4 arms. The other is another woman, slight and thin of build, could be related, has the same skin tone, same kind of eye shape under the mask that she's wearing, although She doesn't have the same black suit that everyone's wearing. She has sort of just like black baggy pants and sort of a tight tube top over her chest. And down her arms and tracing up her trapezius, up her neck, are these glyphs that are done in sort of an ink brush scrollwork way to resemble stripes. And so those four arrive. Rhea and her partner open up Hugo's cell and escort him out. The two other individuals open up your cell. They don't seem to like accost you. They just are standing at attention and expecting you to like walk out of the cell and follow them or be led forward by them.
Yeah, he cooperates. He knows she's got a mean grip. Not keen to repeat that event. He walks out with him and like purposefully rubs his neck.
Her focus is all on Hugo, Rhea in particular.
Oh, sure.
So you're led down this corridor. Interestingly enough, they don't cover your head for the procession, Whittaker.
And because of that, he is taking in just every inch of the place.
Okay.
Escape routes, other cells, any other prisoners.
Mm-hmm.
It's all downloaded.
Well, why don't you read a bad situation?
I would love to read a bad situation. Thank you very much.
Because I will say, this situation is very bad.
It's quite definitely, actually. I'm going to plus one.
There's a non-zero chance that
I get an
bad
8.
times.
An 8. Let's see what that gets me. It gets me 1. What's my best way out?
God, if you knew.
Can I see anything that I might like?
I mean, your best way out is Joseph Argyle. Is him convincing them to not kill you. That's your best way. I mean, the other option would be to try and fight your way out and maybe hope that Hugo backed you up. But there are 4 of them, and 3 of them in this procession have already kicked your ass.
Yeah, no, he would not do that, and he would not ask Hugo to do that for him.
Right.
God.
You go up some stairs once you reach the end of the like prison cell hallway. You take another hallway down. It's more just like arched stone columns, very little decoration or anything. And so when you are finally let out into this open space, it's sort of a round dais surrounded by raised balconies that kind of form a Colosseum type hearing space. There's a little stone pedestal and a hooded figure is standing there next to it. You can see in the balconies there are other hooded figures up there, and some of them have people in all black standing next to them. It's not all the same uniform. Like some people have like black bandanas covering their face. There are other folks who have a ski mask and like a black leather coat with like a thick scarf. All their identities are obscured, but there's no like uniformity to it. Just whatever that person has to hide their exact appearance.
How many of them are there?
A dozen.
Okay.
The 2 figures that kidnapped you go and stand at the 4 corners of this circle, essentially. They're like doorways to each one, and each one of them posts up. Rhea and Zuri go post to the other 2. And I guess I can call them Haru and Noriko, but you don't know who they are. They go stand at the other 2 doors. Hugo, you walk with Whittaker up to that central dais where he doesn't take the hood up, but you can tell that it's Argyle. And he doesn't regard you. He just like waits for you to stand there and then turns and raises his hands to address the people gathered. Friends, members, we are gathered because this man, points at you, Whittaker, found our organization. This man who knows the fight we fight and has fought it himself. This is the 2nd special case in almost as many years where we have been asked to question our methods for controlling the spread of information about us. A tall figure from up in the balcony section says, "You are the only one questioning it." Argyle raises a hand. He says, "I admit, I am opposed to the decisions we have had to make in the past to protect
our secret. I do not believe any law that is inflexible to special circumstances is one that I could defend. That being said, I will respect the decision of this council. And he turns to you, Hugo, and he says, my protege has not been the easiest initiate that we have ever had join our ranks. But he is part of the group. He deserves a moment to speak. And Hugo, you have the floor.
And he turns to Mr. Argyle. I don't know what there is to say.
One of the people up on the top balcony, you hear a woman's voice.
Ha! So he can learn.
And then he's going to turn and lock eyes with them. I don't know what to say because I do not know, and pardon my language, how stupid of a choice you all seem like you're going to make.
Bethany, from miles away, feels a sense of pride to be your fake girlfriend for the night.
The woman with one thumb pushes her hat up, and you get a glimpse of her face that is mostly obscured by this black bandana. You can see creeping across her eyebrow ridge and forehead swirls and other tattooed designs. And she says, careful now.
What I mean simply, how much do all of you know of Mr. Whittaker here? I assume you all know who's associated with. I assume you all understand why it's best for us to have allies rather than people who may seek vengeance on us for messing with them.
That is irrelevant. The code demands a price.
This is a different figure, and you do notice that Paro and Noriko perk up when this voice speaks up, and this
Mr.
gentleman...
Kojima, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
This gentleman stands from where he's been sitting in one of the balcony seats.
These sorts of decisions are not made lightly, but in order to preserve the Order and its members, sometimes hard choices have to be made.
And he sits back down.
For the preservation of the Order, for the preservation of any being, it needs to be able to adapt. If we are so entrenched within our old teachings and our old way of doing things, we never learn. And with that, he turns back to the same person who had said, oh, he finally learned.
You see two of the people behind that woman sitting in the chair. One of them does the thing where they cock their head like, you want to go? And the other one rolls her eyes. But the woman with the large hat is staring at you intently. And her eyes are flicking back and forth between you and Whittaker, trying to get a read on him.
There is a reason, after all, that we're so factionalized.
There is a figure who is broad-shouldered, with their hair done in a half pony, just a very thick scarf around the bottom of their face, and they're sitting next to another person who has their hood up. The taller, broad-shouldered figure says, Hugo has a point. Anything that doesn't change over 1,000 years is bound to be outdated. And they go to say more, but the figure with that robe has a little stick with some feathers on the end of it, and they hold it up against the other figure, and they just immediately shut up. But Argyle will step up next to you, Hugo, and he says, Mr. Whittaker is used to keeping secrets, even from his own people. I do not think he is lying when he promised me that our existence would stay concealed. That being said, Mr. Whittaker, what is to keep you from breaking? What is to keep your agency from questioning you?
Well, in general, I will say the threat of death is a very persuasive tool in your toolbox. Put that right out there. And for what it's worth, actually out of game, would I know about any supernatural ways the Eastie Agency is used for extracting truth from people? Do they got Veritaserum in there?
They do not. Olivia Eastie is a notoriously good interrogator. I will let you ponder what that might mean.
Yeah, no, that's pretty fair.
She isn't always called in, but for particularly difficult cases, she sometimes interacts directly with someone they're trying to question, and she usually gets an answer.
In my career with the Eastie Agency, save for perhaps the job interview, I have never given anyone in that agency reason to interrogate me. And as long as I keep any sort of indication that something might be afoot here from them, I can't imagine them having a reason to interrogate me on any of your existences whatsoever.
Hugo, Argyle looks to you. He doesn't say anything, but he does kind of peek at you from under the hood and gives you like a fervent look of like, keep it going. This is momentum. But before you can say more, you just hear muffled screaming from somewhere in this underground compound. And we will cut back over to the lab. Dr. Singh goes over, picks up one of the capsules that has been filled with this golden energy from Aidan, and then goes over to a series of cages that he has over to the side, and they begin rattling as he approaches. And when he goes to open one up, a little gremlin creature leaps out at him, which he quickly swats away with the cane to keep it from attacking his face. It is clutching his cane, and he tosses that to the ground, and it spins around at him, screams like it's going to come attack him again, and he tosses this little trap device out, clink, 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 on the ground.
And there is a flash of the same golden light that happens whenever Aidan uses her abilities, and this small little gremlin creature is just vaporized in midair as it leaps at the doctor. And he slowly limps over to his cane, picks it up, picks up the silver device, admiring it, and then he turns back to look at Aidan.
Did you see? Did you see what we have accomplished together, my friend? You are going to change everything.
Aidan doesn't reply. She's just taking very shallow, ragged breaths and isn't even making an effort to lift her head up to look at Dr. Singh anymore. There's just absolutely nothing left of her strength at this point.
Investigation group. You guys arrive at the museum. It is after hours.
Whittaker, how armed is your van? Because Damien is getting out guns for everybody.
Are there hidden weapons in the Whittaker mobile?
I can't imagine there's more than one gun in there, though.
Doesn't he have a pickup truck?
Yeah, it's
so
a
there's
pickup
not
truck.
much space in the cab.
Right, it would be under the seat or something. He's got knives.
I'll take a knife.
There's probably a shotgun and maybe 5 throwing knives on a belt, and then
listen,
a spare
Whittaker's-
revolver in the glove box.
He's a little more trigger happy than the average person because he has the money to be, but he's not
yeah,
not survivalist Armageddon packed to the teeth.
We can tell that these haven't been used. These are stored in his truck just in case, but they're not frequently used.
They're standard issue. That being said, Damien,
There you
do you
go,
have
bud.
Whittaker's gun, the normal one he would carry around with him?
Yes, I probably took it off the ground.
Yeah, Whittaker dropped it.
I have remembered a thing, and it will come up later if you use that gun.
Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah! The spit!
Oh, yeah.
Spit bullets. I was like, oh, shit. I forgot about those.
Yeah, whatever.
Different clip.
Well, Whittaker also
right.
might not have noticed if anything strange happened.
Yeah, I'm going to say that Damien had made that special clip but hadn't loaded it.
So does Damien have the special clip now since he knows where it was?
He probably would have taken it, I would think.
Yeah,
All right.
safety first. And he's going to give it to Bethany.
Mmm.
With a gun. Oh, God.
Yes.
Spicy.
Let me
Have a place
just.
to put it?
Gal Gadot hid a sword in her dress.
That's true.
You have a purse with you.
Am I allowed to take my purse with me? Will they search it?
You haven't even found where to go yet.
Oh, easy peasy. Yeah, I put it in my
So,
purse for now.
one problem at a time, gang.
Yeah, we'll pass out the weapons. Raven has a big knife. It's like a hunting knife. She has a small set of her own throwing knives, and she has her flashlight, which can be used as a weapon. It's like a watchman's flashlight. It's really heavy. I don't think Raven is comfortable taking a gun. I don't believe she would really know how to use it. I don't know if she's ever fired a gun before. She has no reason to. So she will happily pass them to anyone who knows how to fire them. If nobody wants the other throwing knives that we found in the truck, Raven will take them because she has a little bit of experience.
So I
Not
just
much.
remembered that I have gear. one of them is a revolver, but I feel like Felicity wouldn't actually have a revolver.
I think we replaced Felicity's gear with Ghosty and Tom.
Okay, that's fair. That's
But you
fair.
can
I just
definitely take that
realized
from
that
the
I had gear marked off. It was like,
I feel like our precious cinnamon bun, Felicity Starnbrook, hasn't touched a gun.
She doesn't have a gun.
There's no way.
She's very excited to have a knife that she took out of the cart, but she has no intentions of using it.
Right. Question for you, Raven. Did you bring your ingredients?
Yes.
Can we salt the building and trap everyone inside?
I don't think we'd have enough salt. We also still don't know if this is the place.
Yeah, we could just trap a whole bunch of janitors in a building, and we don't want that.
That's why if Raven's still driving, she's going to park outside of, I don't know if the museum has like gates that lock at night or anything, but she's
It's like, I think the parking lot probably has one of those, like, take a ticket, validated inside.
yeah,
Get out.
she's
kinda
going to park a little ways before that because they don't know what they're walking into. She's going for stealth. We're going to park the car over here and we're going to sneak in, hopefully get past any security cameras if they have any. We're going real sneaky, guys.
I don't think any of you are trained to avoid security cameras. And
We're going to see if there's any obvious ones.
the
and then
the museum does have those. Like, it's a museum.
Yeah.
There are things that they don't want stolen, so those exist.
If they're just walking onto the grounds, I think Raven is going to ask Windy to deglamour so that any security cameras would maybe pick up on it and have him run ahead and then start calling and be like, Fluffy, oh my god, Fluffy, come back, and like chase after. So on the security cameras, it just looks like a group of people chasing after like a pet rabbit that got loose.
Okay. Yeah, it is happy
We'll
to
disclose
follow
this
those.
plan to the group before
Yeah.
letting Windy in.
Felicity, that headache you've been getting
Mm-hmm.
is no longer just flashes. It's just like constant now. So while you might be like putting on a brave face and like, I'm all full of pep, you're not doing so great.
Oh, okay.
It's not so bad yet that I'm going to impose like a mechanical problem, but we'll see.
Guys, I think we could we really actually need to hurry.
Okay.
That's a really brave face you have on. I think we're ready for the plan.
Should Felicity and I kind of split up one way and you and Beth, like not completely split up, like so with an eye shot, but maybe.
Have we found
Wait. Us having Damien disguised as Haru, me going up pretending to be angry and unconscious. I don't know if that's going to make us get inside the building. Like, I don't know if that's really going to, you know what I'm saying? We still don't have keys or access. And I think my concern is that in particular. What if we just do the one thing that Hugo would come out for, which is threaten to spill literally every secret in existence. And then Hugo will have to come out and say hello. Even if he's kidnapped, he'll probably kill like 6 people to come out and make sure that's okay. You know what I'm saying?
What if I just go in whoosh, as Hugo? So the other thing is I don't want to endanger the 3 of you. I can just phase in, phase out.
Can Damien just phase through the front door and unlock it for us?
That's what I was thinking.
We are so smart. It's so stupid. It's the same
Alex,
time, and I love
Brain
it.
Raven Eugenia has solved the problem for you all. You're going to go through the door then, I guess.
Yep.
Because this is Autumn Falls and not like DC, there is no like security alarm to go off.
Well, he
Like,
unlocked
there's
the
no,
door.
like- well, that's what I'm saying. Like, he phases through, unlocks the door, but there's no like code or system he has to break or whatever. It's just like they lock the doors. That's it. It's Autumn Falls. Thank God for setting this in a small town.
We just walk in.
You're now in the spooky, dark Autumn Falls Museum. There's a
Flashlight.
dinosaur skeleton and shit.
I did an overnight with the Girl Scouts at the museum. It's not that scary once you're in the jellyfish room for too long.
Raven glances nervously at the section that takes you to where there's like tanks of fish.
Yeah.
I would like to take a peek around.
Yeah, that would be the next thing to do.
That's a 7. That is not great, but it is, it's fine.
You still get to ask one question.
Should I ask where did it go for a 3rd time, or what is being concealed here? Because that's also a good idea.
What is being concealed here?
What is being concealed here?
Where did
I
it
like better.
go? Where did it go?
The dojo. We went to the wrong place.
After all that, it's the dungeon under the dojo.
You figure none of the exhibits are going to have a Hugo at this hour, and none of the exhibits would have a secret dungeon somehow in them. You don't expect the Parasaur to, like, break open in half and have like a secret stairway under it.
That would be
Like,
so
cool, though.
that is so, it'd be very cool, but
Hey, I will say Bethany gets a 7, so she does definitely check that just in case. She like very much examine the skeletons. Like, what if there's like a loose bone that you just pull and then the door opens up?
You pull a couple dinosaur bones out of their like wire framing and just like nothing happens. You drop
Taking
them.
a dinosaur apart.
Yeah. But eventually you go to the back room where there are some lights on in the lab because it's just cheaper to leave the fluorescents running than to turn them off and on. And if there are experiments with plants growing, you want light to be going on and stuff. So you find this back room and you figure like, oh yeah, this must be like where Hugo hangs out a lot. And you do see his little locker back here, Hugo Rashad. All that's in it is like a little lab coat and some like tools to run the experiments. If someone else wants to like roll to help out, I'll let you guys look around a little more in this room.
I will not be helping out. Did Raven wanna? I have a -1 for my help out.
Oh, I have a 1. I can try and help out. I've got like the flashlight. I'll see if I can help shine more light on stuff. That's not good. That's a 5. That's not helping anybody.
That's experience. That's what that is.
And Raven, instead of helping out, you make things worse.
Am I the one who breaks the dinosaur bone?
No, you're in the lab now.
Oh, that's right. Can it be like I'm leaning against
On
the
a
wall
miss.
trying to be casual and I accidentally open the secret door and fall into it?
On a miss, you expose yourself to trouble or danger without helping.
No. That would expose us to trouble.
You are looking around, and Windy is also looking around, but they're not being as careful as a person would be if they were searching a room. So they're just sort of climbing on top of bookcases and kicking papers around and like making a mess, searching for things. And one of the things they knock over actually is like a glass terrarium.
Raven, can you tell your fucking dog to be quiet?
It's a jackalope, I think. And yes.
They don't seem sorry at first. They just peer over the desk, but then they look at you and you like seem upset and their little ears drop and fall back.
I'm gonna scoop up Windy.
Does anything happen, or can I do one more like little look around?
Sure. Roll one more time to investigate.
She looks through any sort of files they have out or any data or information to see if there's anything that could hint at something else being here. That's a 9, so it's still a mixed success.
Would Damien be helping because he's with Bethany?
Certainly.
Perfect. Is that sharp or cool?
Help out is
yeah,
plus
it's
cool.
7. Mixed success.
Your help grants them +1, but you expose yourself to trouble or danger. So
It gets me to a 10 though.
it gets you to a 10. Bethany, you're looking around, you're checking books and things. You get to this one bookcase and you're like, all the books on the shelves are just like normal science reference books. Flora of the Northwest. And I'm like, microbes and you. It's just like a bunch of like, science texts
Microbes in you.
I thought you'd like that one. So you're glancing around, your eye catches something, and it's a little like thermostat pad, but it's in the middle of the wall. It's not like tucked away. It's just like number keypad on it, and you're like, what the heck? And you do see that some of the numbers there are they're worn away more than normal. So you poke at that for a second. Damien, you see her messing around, and you go to like touch it, but you are accidentally in phase mode, and your hand just goes through the wall, and you feel like, hey, it's empty back there. And then suddenly you feel something poke at your hand, and you like feel around and feel the chest of someone behind, like on the other side of the wall. And so you pull your arm away quickly because you've exposed yourself now to danger.
And he's just going to tell Bethany, like, really quietly, just like, run immediately.
What the fuck? What did you find?
The bookcase does slide over, Bethany, revealing a doorway, and standing there is a figure in all black.
Do we recognize them?
I don't think you do recognize this one.
So it's not the 2 figures in black that we've seen so far.
It is not either of them, no.
Okay.
Can I roll to act under pressure? I want to pull my gun. I have one. I want to pull it out.
You know, that's the problem with guns.
Damien's eyes glow green as he looks at the figure in the doorway. Could you do me a favor, fellow? And I'm going to roll to use my manipulate person that's super effective because I'm a demon. I get to ask for 3 favors.
Okay, so Damien, not panicking, because you're like, I'm gonna ask this person 3 questions.
Would you do me some favors, friend? Would you stay absolutely quiet and place your hands behind your back for a while? And then would you continue doing those things for as long as possible? And Damien's gonna walk up and pull out a pair of handcuffs that he stole from the police station and just handcuff the figure. And then I'll just throw him over my shoulder and let me help you out. And then I will walk the figure towards Bethany and just sort of make the I don't know what to do now face.
You guys have discovered a secret passage. It looks like that stone texture, Felicity, that you've been seeing in these visions.
This is it. This is it. This is it.
Okay, Damien, let's put the body outside, maybe, or somewhere where it cannot follow us. I think that's a good move. We should go down there because even if this isn't the right place, although I trust Felicity's judgment, we don't get to see secret passageways every single day, and so it's worth going regardless.
Perfect. I will take him out and I'll duct tape him up a bit.
Okay, you can duct tape him to like one of the chairs in the lab if you wanted to.
Yeah, hands, feet, mouth, and then to the chair, and then we're good to go.
I guess you would take his mask off to do that, right?
Yeah, to see who it is.
This is a gentleman. He's got a little bit of stubble going on, but other than that, his head is mostly shaved. And I don't know his name, but you know that model who has the skull tattoo and then like his whole body is tattooed? He's like a famous model.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Resembles that guy in terms of the amount of tattoo and the style of them. It's very ornate but sort of macabre subject matter, along with some generic shapes and line work that sort of connect and interweave amongst the imagery. And the guy's eyes are glowing with like the green magic of Damien's charm ability. But yeah, he's got these very elaborate tattoos all over him.
Can I have finagled it so, like, I know he saw Bethany because we were, like, in front of the bookcase, but can he not have seen Felicity or Raven?
If you, like, slapped your hand over his eyes, yeah.
Just to make things a little neater later on.
Mm-hmm.
Smart.
Mm-hmm. So you guys head downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The first area you get to is the big library space with all the old scrolls and books and a big central table and then some ornate decorative weapons, drawers that have other things in them. No one is in this room. There's a couple old scrolls out on the table that just have a diagram of the human nervous system overlaid with like chakra points, and then there's another one that it's a biology drawing of what looks to be some sort of a type of forest spirit.
Raven has Windy on her shoulders.
So they're just kind of like ready to go if something should happen.
There's no one here. We're just vibing.
There's no one in this room. There are doors at the other end of the room that seem to go down more of these corridors.
Let's check for fucking traps. I'm gonna roll to investigate a mystery.
You're in a strange place. You don't understand this place. You've never been here before. You're just trying to get your bearings.
14. I can spot everything. I'm eagle eyes over here.
Wow. Yeah, and you did a little bit of agent training with Whittaker, so you post up and like cover your corners, and you look at the doors across the hallway, and only one of the like doors that leads down a different corridor, the torches are lit in. And as you're thinking like, well, if they didn't light the other routes, why would they go down there? You hear another scream. Well, actually, this is the first time you've heard it. But you hear this blood-curdling scream, and Felicity, your head, that headache where like all you can hear is that like pitch tone, just racks you.
Okay, so there's a lit door, and then there's one where there's screams coming down. A lit hallway, and then
it's the same direction. The scream is just coming from somewhere within the compound, but the hallway that has the torches lit is like the easiest one to traverse at this point.
Okay, everyone. I don't see any traps. I'd be really mad if I rolled this 14 and there were some. Let's just start fucking going. I'm going to go down the one that's lit because that makes the most sense for them to be. Should we all go together, or do you think we should split up? I don't really like splitting up, but I don't want to waste any more time. It sounds like somebody's in pain, and I don't want to spend time guessing who it is.
I think we should stick together. And Raven's going to look at Felicity and be like,
stick
was
together
that Aidan?
fast.
Did you recognize that?
Yep, that was Aidan. Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Felicity, you get a -1 going forward for now.
Bethany, before they start moving, turns to first Felicity and then to Raven and just says, "Are you going to be good?" To both of them. Raven because she is close with Aidan, and Felicity because she looks like she's not doing so hot. Are you going to be all right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I get that this is a mission and we want to be heroes, but I'm not about to put you in a position where you are going to experience even heavier levels of distress because of some of the stuff that might be here. When you want to leave, that's what the fuck we're doing, okay?
Deal. Let's go.
All right, let's go. And Bethany puts on the sneakers, she puts the heels in her bag, and she starts running down the lit hallway. Oh, at a brisk walk.
Raven's gonna just put a hand on Felicity's back as kind of just leading her, since looks like she's having trouble seeing, just guiding her to keep up with the group.
Yeah, Damien's
Bethany-
right behind Bethany, disguised as the guy they took out.
Bethany grabs Damien's wrist hand thing because she just wants to have him close because she knows he can think fast and she can't think as fast as he can.
Hugo and Whittaker. That scream happens and you're like, what is going on? And Hugo, you realize you haven't seen Aidan since they brought her in. And there was a reason you and Argyle didn't tell anybody else here about her.
Mm-hmm.
Argyle says, I think the point Hugo has been trying to make is whether or not we can continue the way we have while the world changes around us. The more interconnected the human world becomes, the more that bleeds over into the supernatural. And when you have monsters texting and finding their targets with GPS, can we still be so preoccupied with eliminating witnesses, especially those who are fighting the same fight as us? And there are some murmurs amongst the hooded council members up on the balcony and stuff. You see some of the figures in the black who, from the vibe you're getting, they're like the underlings. If Hugo was not on trial right now, he would be standing next to Argyle in one of the hoods, and then he would be in a black outfit, like his armor. Do you want to try and roll a manipulate check in order to have the final word?
I'm pretty sure Hugo would honestly just shut up because he has a -1 to charm, so. And he also has another negative because he was in bad standing or something.
I'm going to make you roll it, though.
Okay.
Because this is Monster of the Week. I will remind you, you have a mechanic for dire situations.
Called luck, Hugo.
Called luck.
Might not need it because I got a 9.
That is a mix. It's very close to being a straight-up success. Whittaker?
Yeah, I guess Whittaker can
Use
help
the power
out.
of love.
What do you roll to help out?
That's cool.
Plus cool. Oh, I'm so cool.
You are very cool.
That's a 9.
Your help grants them the +1, but you expose yourself to trouble or danger. Well, first of all, Hugo, we need your line first. You're going to get some help, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but it should be pretty convincing.
Maybe it's time we open up carefully. I know no one believes we will be able to get any good benefit from working with other groups. It may be worthwhile to at least have a contact within another group. And if needed, I can keep an eye on that contact for as long as is necessary. It's not like he's going to tell anyone. And he looks over at Whittaker.
Whittaker, what's the line you say that helps Hugo but exposes you to danger?
Whittaker says something along the lines of, we can negotiate the ratio of how much the Eastie Agency knows about you versus how much I can tell you about the Eastie Agency. He's offering, I can give you some of their secrets at a beneficial exchange rate for your secrets. I imagine that'll open him up to danger within the Eastie Agency.
It might.
There's something else I want to do too, but I don't want to press my luck.
What is it? Do it. Do it.
I want to. It's a.
Come on.
It's a demand.
Oh.
In regards to my silence.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't.
Go for it.
Ooh.
What's the worst that could happen?
If you do not think that the threat of death is enough to keep me under your thumb in terms of silence, I can offer a deal on top of that.
A lot of the people in robes are now standing as if they're about to, like, cast a vote or make their final decision as you're, like, spinning through this, like, last plea.
Oh, yeah, this is not a demand for the last plea. Whittaker, we'll discuss this later. This is a later date thing.
You kind of see them standing and immediately, like, think, I'm just gonna shut up
You know
now.
what? Threat of death, it's pretty convincing. I like my life. I got a lot of life left to live.
So they all stand, and I want to go back to our other group.
Oh my god.
I know. I'm sorry. It's just so good. Y'all, what are you doing?
I'm following the screams.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm also following wherever they take me.
Felicity, you are almost 1-for-1 experiencing the vision that you experienced that told you Aidan was going to be in trouble. You are running down this stone hallway, torches, flashing lights, and you're kind of using that almost to guide the group forward. Your eyes have that, like, future vision glow to them, and the rest of you are almost, like, struggling to keep up with her. She's, like, in a desperate, mad dash towards the sound of this cry for help. Felicity, you throw open the door to this lab. Your hand just goes forward, and that door is blown off its hinges by your magic.
Mm-hmm.
The doctor whips around, and Aidan is just twitching and convulsing on this machine. And we're gonna jump to Aidan. She is just shuddering at this point. She can barely breathe, and for a moment, she's not in the lab.
She is standing before these massive metallic arches with the golden circuitry running throughout them. There is a dark sea of nothingness behind her, and through the gateway ahead of her are the Gardens of Paradise. She extends her wings slightly and begins to glide towards this entryway. But before she can cross the threshold, a lightning strike hits just inside the barrier, and a being made of pure light steps out of it. She slows her approach and backs up from this figure as it regards her for a brief moment, and then shakes its head sadly as it says,
"No." And she is sent hurtling back and impacts like a meteor into desolate, dark, barren earth, wind whipping debris in the air. She sits up, and in the wind, Wrath's face appears. Not physically there, but like a manifestation of Wrath. And it just looks at her, and Aidan is wiping the dirt and tears from her face, and Wrath just says, "No." And she appears again in front of those arches, more tired, more exhausted. And that figure at the gate is like about to leave, turns around, and is just like, "No." She is sent whipping back again. Aidan is constantly being thrust back and forth between Paradise and the place apart because this machine is trying to kill her. And that's where we'll end our session for tonight.
Aidan, what are you doing?
Aidan's gonna need a hug and a nap after this.
I know it was super stressful, but I thought it'd be fun to take the fighters off the board and make our fledgling hunters really pull their weight this time.
Yeah, Natalie, this was a great concept for a mission.
I love it.
This is fine.
I think we learned that Hugo's actually very good at public speaking if you just give him a shot.
All right.
Put enough narrative stress on this man to pull out speeches.
Only with the threat of certain death